This is Lisa Tucker, host of The Book Cover, which showcases local literary personalities. So listen to The Book Cover on the borderline. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Hi there, this is Lisa Tucker. You are listening to The Book Cover on the borderline. And today I have an author with us today, Diane Sims. Diane, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much, Lisa. I've been looking forward to this.
I've actually been looking forward to it too. And when people hear the topic of your book, that they might think that that's a little strange. The topic of your book is the MAID, medically assisted in dying, correct?
Well, that's not really the topic of my book, but it's called Medical Assistance in Dying.
That's right. And
Yeah.
it may not be the main topic, but it has something to do with your story, of course.
Yes, it does.
And I'm interested in that. I had an aunt that used, I guess, that program last year. And I've read some other articles that you've done, and you talk about dignity. And I think that is such a huge word for what medically assisted in dying is. Tell us a little bit about your book, Living Beyond the Shadow. Tell us why you wanted to write this.
Well, I have been pestered for years to write my story, especially in the last 2 years. And my friends have been after me, and I had contract writing work that ended at the end of February. So the 1st of March, I opened the laptop and I began writing, and I didn't stop until the first week of September. So I had no spring, no summer. The world just went by. I could see out my window, and I could see if it was sunny or rainy, but I was ensconced in writing this book, and it's the story of my life.
And a very interesting life you've had. You were diagnosed with MS at the very, very young age of 17.
However, my first attack was when I was 14.
Wow. Is that fairly young? Is that a fairly young? Yeah.
Extremely young. I was in all sorts of medical reports and medical journals, and I believe I even made it into a few medical books.
Wow. And for something that you don't necessarily want to make it in for.
No, not really, but I've proven them all wrong. So
And I love that. I love that about your story. They didn't give you a very good prognosis.
no, when I was 17, the neurologist at Toronto General Hospital, I was sitting on the exam table, and I was a good Baptist girl, and I was teaching Sunday school, and um, he said to me, "You have MS. You will likely be in a wheelchair very soon. You will be bedridden when you're 27 and dead by 35."
Wow.
And I looked out the window at it was June 20th, and I looked out at the young leaves brushing against the window, and I turned back to him and I said, "Fuck you."
Oh my God. I love that, Diane. Good for you. And
Well,
I know you're not
I,
supposed to ask this, but how old are you now?
I'm 66.
God bless you. God bless you.
Well, yes. And oh, my parents did not take it well at all. And my mother, of course, I grew up in the Sioux, so I'd been flown air ambulance to Toronto. I wasn't Toronto General, excuse me. That was the first time around. This was at Sunnybrook Hospital.
So
And
so many hospitals to remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, there are quite a few in my life. And so I flew home with my dad, and all he said on the airplane to me was, "Don't you dare tell your aunts."
And
And
why weren't you allowed to tell your aunts?
well, they were ashamed of me. It
Be-
was as if I had asked for the MS.
so
Uh,
they were ashamed of you because you were sick.
yes.
Wow.
And I mean, that changed for my mom over the years, but my dad, when we got to the airport, girlfriends were there with balloons and flowers, and obviously they had a car.
Mhm.
And my dad disappeared for about a week, 5 days to a week on a bender.
Wow.
And I don't know to this day where he went. I was afraid he was going to go to our camp at Batchewana, but he didn't. And because I was headed there,
Oh, yeah.
but there was a lot I had to do. Um, the doctors in Toronto had sent me home with a script for ACTH, which at that time came from horses' urine,
Wow.
female horses' urine.
Wow.
And I had to arrange to get it from Arizona, get the drug from Arizona. And so my girlfriend Cindy Howard, who still lives in the Sioux or has moved back to the Sioux, um, she and I she and I, in one day, took the script to the pharmacist, found out it would take a few days to get the drug in, um, went to Botswana and asked a neighbor who was a nurse if she would inject my butt with the drug
Right.
when it came in, and then back to the Sioux to see my doctor and convince him not to put me in the hospital, to
Wow.
let me go to Botswana, that Carrie Hugo was going to give me the shots, and
You
then
had taken care of it all.
yeah, I'd take care of it, and I had $5, and um I had a check for $25 from one of my aunts, and Cindy and I that same day went to the bank to open a checking account, hoping I'd get the $25. And no, it was put on hold for 4 days.
Right.
So luckily, Cindy's mom gave me the $25. And then we had to fill up the Volkswagen that had no gas gauge. It was a 64, 65 Volkswagen
I lo-
that had no gas gauge. The brakes did barely worked. And so we had to fill it up with $3.
it probably filled it though.
Yeah, yeah, I think gas was 31 cents a gallon
Wow.
at that time. And then we got McDonald's and hit the road again for Botswana. And on our way out, we were going down the Mile Hill, and a big transport went past us, and a piece of chrome flew off and of the Volkswagen. And so Cindy and I are in the car eating Big Macs, and this chrome whips by the window. Oh well, just something else happening that day.
Right.
So we got to Botswana, had milkshakes on the dock, I think, and went for a swim.
Right. Do, it sounds like you are pretty I'm going to say strong-willed. Um
Oh, I am very. I'm a redhead,
oh yes.
and I'm Swedish and Scottish.
Oh wow.
So,
You're a hard head too then.
oh yeah, I've been told I had balls.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? I'm convinced that attitude helps when you're not well, when you're dealing with an illness. I 100%, and I think that that hard-headedness or your balls is what got you to, you said you're 68?
66.
66. That's what got you to 66.
Yes, it did because um, my parents didn't want me to go to university, but I did. And by 20, let me see, 28, I had 2 university degrees. And at 31, I went back and did my master's in journalism.
Wow.
And my first degree was in religious studies. The second one was Bachelor of Journalism. And then I did my master's at age 37. It was I call it my annus horribilis, uh, just my horrible year.
Mm.
In January of 96, my only sister, who had MS as well, she died of a cancer from her stomach and her ovaries. And then in March, our last aunt died. And in May, my mother died. Our mother died. And the Friday of Thanksgiving weekend, a 10-pound tumor was removed from my right ovary.
Wow.
And a few days later, I found out it was ovarian cancer.
Wow.
And I was given a year to live.
Wow.
So, um, and then the medical issues just continue right up until a couple years ago when I was told I had 3 months to live. And
They're continuously counting you out.
they are, and I'm going out on my own terms.
Yes, and that's what I love. And I talked about a little bit earlier, the dignity, that the
Yes.
medically assisted in dying allows a person. Um, I mentioned that I had a personal connection with it. My aunt,
Yes.
last year, she had ALS, and it was very, very fast.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that is so dreadful.
that is a terrible disease as well. And she made it, of course, a year before she passed. She, talked to the people she needed to talk to, and her, I guess, deal breaker, like we were calling it, the deal breaker, her deal breaker
Yeah,
was when she could not eat any longer.
that's mine too.
It is it?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Now, why did you choose that?
Well, it's it's a combination of 3 factors, really. Um, when I can't eat or drink white wine, uh,
One of the joys of life, Diane.
yes. And I'm on a very restricted diet because of what happened is my bowel is now dying.
Oh, wow.
So when I can't communicate and when they tell me it's time for feeding tube, that's when I'm calling my dear friend, Dr. Eric Thomas, and saying, or having someone say over the phone that this is it.
Right. And I've in doing some research, I saw that one of the things, or one of the reasons that led you to this, is you didn't want to go into a long-term care facility.
Oh my goodness. After what we saw, what happened with COVID
Mm-hmm.
and long-term care facilities, and to me, long-term care facilities just scare the living daylights out of me because it's a place where you're just waiting for God, and the the care that you receive is so minimal compared to the care I now receive, that, oh,
Yeah.
why in the world would someone want to go in there when they could take a dignified, peaceful way out?
Yeah. And
And you have to be at peace with it.
well,
And
absolutely. Now, I read that at first your husband was not on board.
no, he wasn't. He thought it was committing suicide.
I think he's not
And
alone in that. I think that others also think that.
I think a lot of people do. And there are people who have said that to me, that that's what I'm doing. And of course, I argue, uh, just argue very, very briefly, but that's that's their position.
Right. And,
But
and
um,
you're a spiritual person,
yes, I
so
am.
you can understand, of course, why people who are also spiritual would think that, but this is not that.
No, this is not that. If you come to peace with um, your, well, to me, it's the magical, mystical, mysterious, divine. If you can come to peace, then there's nothing to be afraid of.
Right. Right.
And Dennis, it took him a year and a half, and we were driving home one night from a festival north of Stratford, and all of a sudden in the car, we were very quiet, and all of a sudden he said, "I get it." And I I asked him to repeat it,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "I get it, why you want MAID." And
what was it that finally clicked for him? What was it that sort of finally let him see what you see?
It was the feeding tube
Mm,
issue
right,
that finally got him to understand.
right.
And um
And this isn't just a a light decision. You just don't call up one guy and say, listen, this is what I'd like to do. There are parameters, there are restrictions, there are.
oh yes, you go through 3 interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and the best thing my first and second doctors said to me was, as long as you can find joy,
Mm-hmm.
if you can find joy the morning you wake up, then um,
Then that's
that's not the day.
right. I was uh,
But
I was looking at.
sorry.
No, no, that's okay. I was looking at some of the criteria that a patient needs to qualify, and I mean, some of them are based. Patient must be at least 18 years of age or older. That's understandable. But one of the things that was comical to me, if you can believe it, is that the patient must understand that an assisted death is irreversible.
Yes.
That kind of got me because
Yes, yes, it's not like there's a Narcan for it.
right. Once you've had MAID, you can't have it again.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, there's not an antidote to it.
No.
And what was wonderful to me when Dr. Thomas came to see me, and we had our third interview where I was approved,
Mhm.
and um, he I asked about the drugs, and they start with a tranquilizer, but it's a very deep tranquilizer. So you better have said your goodbyes.
Before
And
that.
then the drug they use to um, put your lights out uh, is a drug they use in surgery, just at a much higher dose.
Sure.
But what made me comfortable was that you don't lose control of your bowels.
Yes. Yes. And again,
So
we're talking dignity, right?
we're talking dignity.
Mhm. Right.
And
Well,
that made me feel so much better.
sure. Now, I don't think I have to ask this, but I don't like to ever assume. You're spiritual, so
Yes.
you can assume, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What do you believe is there for you on the other side?
Light.
Yeah. Nope.
I believe in a light that is beyond any light that we see here. And I think there are colors that we haven't seen yet. And um,
And no
love.
MS. And no MS.
No MS,
That's right.
no pain,
Yeah.
and love.
Yes. And that's a beautiful way to think about that. Your book is being published, Living Beyond the Shadow. It's being published by Tagona Press here in Sault Ste. Marie, which I love.
I absolutely love that too,
Brian
to have
Davies is a
them.
hoot.
Pardon
I
me?
said Brian Davies is a hoot.
Oh, he is so much fun,
And he is so
and
excited about he is so excited about your book.
he's worked so hard
Yes.
at getting getting the word out about it. And I'm so excited. I have to tell you that in where we'll be doing just a mini tour after Stratford. I'll be coming up to Little Current because I lived on Manitoulin, and we've gone back there every year for quite a few years now. And um, uh, I feel I have my family. I don't have. I don't. All my siblings are. Um, well, I have one sibling who's still alive, but he has severe Down syndrome, and he's in a group home in Thunder Bay, and he's about the quality of his life is about that of a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really have any family and no aunts or uncles. I have a few close cousins, and so anyway, there's my Manitoulin family, and then we'll be in the Sioux, and I'm hoping everybody from my past comes out of the woodwork and attends the launch party there. And Brian is going to be master of ceremonies at all of them.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we do Toronto December 2nd, and Lloyd Robertson is going to be speaking.
Well, is it?
Yes,
That's a coup.
yes, it is.
I love that. Well, I definitely will be spreading the word wherever I can, Diane. I think this is an important book. I think that, I can't wait to read it and see what you've got to say. Your book will be available from Tagona Press, which is www.tagonapress.com. Anywhere else that we should be looking for your book?
Well, it will be available on Amazon, but I really encourage people to buy it from Tagona Press. It's the same price, and the quality is going to be so much better.
And you're supporting a local publisher.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And it's supporting a local fabulous publisher.
He is pretty fabulous, but don't tell him because his head's very big.
Oh, well, it should be. It should be.
Yeah.
And Lisa, I want to invite you to the Sioux launch on the 22nd.
I will be there. I
You
definitely will be there.
will?
Yes, absolutely. I will be there because I really, really want to meet you.
Oh, I really, really want to meet you too.
Good, Diane. Well, we've been talking for a half an hour already, Diane.
Oh my
I
goodness.
know. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I really am looking forward to you coming to the Sioux, and I'm going to get my hands on that book. Coming November 15, the book is Living Beyond the Shadow by Diane Sims. Diane, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I didn't say this. You have to read the book to understand the title.
And I can kind of, I kind of already understand the title, but I am going to read the book. I promise.
Well, if you're going to be there on the 22nd, there should be a book in your hand, and I'll expect you to read it
I will,
because
Diane.
I'll track you
Oh,
down.
geez. Listen, I don't need any more hard-headed women after me. Diane, thank you so much.
I'll get you through Brian.
Yeah, oh, I listen, Brian knows where to get me. He knows where to get a hold of
Yeah.
me. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you so much, Lisa. This has been a hoot.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you for listening. You are listening to The Book Cover. I'm Lisa Tucker, and we are on the borderline. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover.
I am Diane Sims, and I'm the author of Living Beyond the Shadow, which is available at tagonapress.com. And it's a wonderful publisher and a wonderful book, I think. And be sure, very sure, to listen to Lisa Tucker on the borderline.